Let me walk you through a scenario. You run a social media agency and you just signed a $10,000 client. So you close your laptop, go out for dinner, but then the real work starts. You have to book a photo shoot for your client's content, maybe a videographer as well. It's $1,500. Then you bring in a social media manager to handle the execution, creating the content, posting it. That's another $2,500. Then you need someone to edit the video content. That's another $1,000. Your project manager also needs to step in to coordinate everything to keep the client happy, make sure nothing falls through the cracks. That's another $1,500. And then there's your tools, the scheduling software, the analytics platform, the design subscriptions. That's another $300. You're at $6,800 in hard costs before you've personally touched a single thing or accounted for any of your time. This is where it gets really expensive because even though you hired all those people, you're still in it. You're the one answering the client's questions because nobody else knows them well enough. You're the one reviewing the content before it goes out because the standard lives only in your head. You're the one solving the problem at 9 p.m. at 12 a.m. when something goes sideways because you're the only one who knows how to fix it. 20 hours is what it costs you personally. And your time as the founder of a multi-six-figure business is at least $300 an hour. And that's not arrogant, that's just math. Which means those 20 hours actually cost your business $6,000. Let's add this up. $6,800 in hard costs, $6,000 of your time, that's $12,800 to deliver a $10,000 contract. You're in the hole for $2,800. And while you're losing those $2,800, while you were in the weeds, answering questions, reviewing content, putting out fires, you weren't selling, you weren't growing, you weren't building. You were just surviving the contract that you thought was a win. And those 20 hours, that was 4 more $10,000 contracts that you didn't sign, $40,000 that you didn't bring into your business because you were buried in delivery instead of focused on growth. That is not a pricing problem. That is not a hiring problem. That is a founder dependency problem. And it is the single most expensive problem a service business can have. Founder dependency is what happens when a business grows around one person instead of growing beyond them. You didn't do anything wrong. This is actually what happens when a founder is really good at what they do. Clients love working with you specifically. Your team defers to you because your judgment is better than them. The business grows, but it grows around you, not past you. And at some point, the weight of that becomes impossible to ignore. You have a team, but you're still the one everyone comes to. You have processes, sort of, but they only work because you're there to fill the gaps. You've tried to delegate it, but it never sticks because of the knowledge, the real knowledge of how things work and how they have to flow, what the exceptions are, the pathways, what good looks like. All of that still lives in your head. Your business has become too complicated, too custom, and too dependent on one person to run without them. That person is you. And here's what makes it so brutal. It compounds. The more successful you get, the worse this problem gets. Every new client adds complexity, every new hire adds another layer of management, and every new offer adds just one more thing only you can explain. And the time and headspace that you would need to fix this, to actually step back and redesign how your business runs, is exactly what the problem is consuming. You can't fix this because you're too busy running it. You didn't build this business to feel this way. I know you didn't. You built this because you wanted something that grew without grinding you down. You wanted freedom. But right now, you're one new client away from burning it all to the ground. That's not a you problem. That's a design problem. Maybe you have already hired someone, and maybe they were great, but they still needed you for everything that actually mattered. Because the stuff that matters, the judgment calls, the client exceptions, the way things are supposed to be done, none of that is written down anywhere. It just lives in your head. They could only handle the surface work, and you were still the engine underneath everything. Maybe you've invested in a tool, a project management system, a CRM, a better way of organizing tasks. Maybe you've paid somebody to build these things for you, and it helped a little. But tools don't fix dependency. Systems do. And a system built around a tool is only as good as the thinking that went into designing it. And most founders don't have time to think that clearly about their business when they're the ones that are keeping it running. Maybe you brought in a consultant who handed you a framework and told you to implement it. And you tried. But implementing someone else's framework in a business as specific and nuanced as yours, while also running it, is nearly impossible. It's like being handed blueprints and told to build the house yourself while you're living in it. None of these things fully work because none of them addressed the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that your business was never designed to run without you. It evolved around you. And at some point, someone has to step back far enough to see the whole thing, the dependencies, the bottlenecks, the places where everything stops if you're not there, and rebuild it from the ground up. That's the work, and that's the only thing that actually moves the needle. So what does that actually look like to solve this? At Koi, we call it extracting the founder, which sounds intense, but what it means in practice is this. We sit inside your business with you and we pull out everything that's been living in your head, every process, every exception, every it depends, every form of excellence. Every time someone has to come to you for an answer that you feel like they should be able to find somewhere else, we capture it. We capture what you know and we build something that your team can actually run from. We improve your processes and we make them public. One of our clients came to us recently because she had a team, but everything ran through her. Every decision, every escalation, every nuance of how her business was supposed to work. She had clients, she had revenue, but she couldn't step away, not really, because the whole thing depended on her being in it every single day. We spent 1 week together, only 1 week. And by the end of that week, she had a full operating manual her team could run from. Documented workflows, decision trees, training materials. The knowledge that had been living in her head for years was finally living somewhere else. Here's how she described it. She said it was like business therapy. And I think about that a lot because what she was describing wasn't just getting organized. It was the relief of finally having someone sit with her and say, I see what's in there, I understand how this works, and I'm going to help you get it out of your head and turn it into something that lasts without you. A business that can run without its founder is worth more. It scales faster, it attracts better clients. It can survive a slow month, a health issue, a vacation, a decision to sell one day. A business that only runs because you're in it every day is fragile. This is for founders that are already successful. You have clients, you have revenue, a team. By every external measure, things are working. You feel it though. The weight of being the only person who knows how things run. The anxiety when you take days off. The way your phone never fully goes quiet. The creeping sense that growth sounds exciting in theory, but in practice just means more of the same problem at a bigger scale. You're not failing, you're not broken. You're at the ceiling of what's possible when a business is built around one person. And you've been there long enough to know that something has to change. You're not looking for someone to tell you to hustle harder or hire a VA or build a better morning routine. You're looking for someone who can actually look at how your business runs and help you redesign it so that it doesn't need you in every seat. That's exactly who we built Koi for. If this resonated, if you watched this and thought, yes, this is exactly what I've been dealing with, I want to offer you something. A complimentary call with me. Not a sales call, a real diagnostic conversation where we look at where the dependency lives in your business and what it's actually costing you. You'll leave with clarity on what your next step is, whether you work with us or not. The link to book is in the description below. And if you're not ready for that yet, that's completely okay. Subscribe because this is what I'm going to be talking about here. Every week I'm putting out content about what it actually takes to build a business that doesn't need you in the middle of everything. The real strategy, the honest conversations, and the things that most people in this space aren't saying out loud. Because you built this for freedom, and I think you deserve to actually have it. See you in the next one.